Start recording. And we are live, my man. The minors for real, boy. My man Rob, the funniest man in the metaverse, the Meta Cracks originator, my man. The minors, how are you, my man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm doing extravagant. I'm doing splendiferous, man. I'm doing great. My dog, man. It's been a while. It's been a
Splend,
while. What's going on with you?
splend, splendiferous, man. I love that word, bro. How you come up with that one,
I don't know. Too
boy?
much is too much YouTube.
Too much YouTube, bro. Speaking of that, I know you're gonna take over this YouTube game real soon. But I want you to welcome, bro. I want welcome. I want everybody welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what I mean? To In the Lens with Beans. You know me, I'm your host, Beneficial Films, which y'all know me in the metaverse as Beneficial Games. And today we're doing something different, bringing together the virtual and the real. I'm here as my avatar in VR, and joining me on FaceTime using Discord is the Miners for Real, a real time creator, innovator, jokes, the funniest man in the metaverse, skit maker, comedic, making waves in this digital space, man. On the show, we talk about virtual reality, AI, and the creative journeys of those shaping the future. It's about imagination, innovation, and community. And today we're diving in, my man. Welcome, welcome, my man. I'm excited to have you, bro.
Man, I'm excited to be here, dog. Man, you've been one of my closest friends, since the beginning when it was the OGs back in those times. So I gotta come
Oh,
out and show some
geez.
love, man. So
Oh,
what's going
geez.
on, man? I had to come out. Had to.
We was playing a little phone tag, but I knew one day we was gonna get together, and today is the day, and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it. We doing it, bro. It's probably because you so busy. You wanted to be just do it in the metaverse. What you got going on, bro? Tell them like a little bit about you and how you got started in the VR, and then what you got going on because it's been a minute.
Yeah, man, man, it's so much to catch up on, man. To start off, man, as y'all already heard, I'm a comedian, but my all in all altogether brand is entertainer. Like I come in to make people laugh, to make people gas, not cry, but like get that movie feel, entertainment type style. I've always been into the entertainment game of just showing things, all things entertaining. Um, Man, and how I started coming up from the VR, man, shoot, was a funny thing because I wasn't even thinking about the VR because at the time I was going viral on TikTok. I was already getting known on TikTok. It was just I was going viral, and then my wife, she had bought the VR for the Beat Saber. I started
Okay,
off with Beat Saber, so we played there, and I'm like, okay, this is dope. And then one day I just got bored of Beat Saber, and I was like, dang, what other games can we play on here? And then I saw Horizon Worlds. I was like, you know what? I'm about to pop up on there. And then I saw all the stuff going down, all the possibilities. This is when we had no legs. When I first
right.
came on, no legs. We
Half
were
of
pixelated, and
pixelated and
from
half human.
yeah. And then from there, it just that's what started creating me, man. Every day I got on there, started making some new jokes, new things. That's when the walk started, and I
The
just started
walk,
becoming a brand.
I gotta put that in the edit, bro. The walk, bro. I
The
definitely
walk, yeah.
recorded. That's the funny shit ever.
Oh man, yeah, that walk that made it live. That's what made me stick out from everyone else because nobody was doing it like how I was doing it. And I started off at Gutties, man. Before Soapstones, it was Gutties, and I just started acting the fool there, and I started meeting friends, and then started branching out from there.
I'm about to say, bro. What? How did you start, bro? Like I say, you went straight from Beat Saber to straight to Horizon Worlds. You saying?
Yeah.
How'd you find Horizon Worlds? Did you play? You ain't play no other game.
So I no, I did play Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but once you finish the story mode, it's like what else to do? So nah, I was just scrolling on games because I was just like, Beat Saber can't be the only fun game on here. And I just saw something that said Horizon. It wasn't even Horizon Central. It was Horizon Worlds. It was called Horizon Worlds, I think. And I was just like, dang, it seems like something I could probably look into. And I just when I got in there, I was already immersed into the atmosphere of what was going on. I was like, this is pretty cool. And then I saw people that was in here. I was like, dang, this is a multiplayer. What can we do with? And we can do everything. And then I was like, shoot, I know I could be entertaining. Let me find something that said open mic. So I typed in something that said open mic and it said Gutties. I said, bet,
Okay.
let me go in there. And I
Okay.
went in
Boom.
there. I went in there with no intent. I ain't had no jokes. I had nothing. I just was just some dude that just came up in there
Look.
and was like, uh, uh I guess they had a 2 minute mic stand and I was on there and that what made me different from the rest because you could tell when somebody's sitting down because they seem stiff when they're
Yeah.
walking. You know what I mean? That
Right.
that whole walk when they're walking around. But
Right.
with
They just
me,
looking like.
before we had legs, they they noticed when I was doing a stand up, I was more immersive. They was like, and somebody said, "Bro, are you standing up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I am. Ain't you supposed to stand up in VR?" And then that's when I got off of stage because I ain't really had jokes. They chuckled, but I ain't had jokes. But when I got off stage, when they saw that I was alive and active, I was like, hmm. Pulled this camera out. I said, I started pretending to watch it. Yo, it look like I'm walking. I said, let me start doing that. So now from that day on, I started walking everywhere. I said, what's up? They was like, dude, is that dude walking? I said,
You're
yeah, I'm
right.
at Walmart right now. That's when jokes started filling up. Like I was starting to make jokes around that wall. And it just became a thing. Like I was the only person known in the metaverse that was walking. The man that walks.
Right. The man was walking with no legs, and like we knew
Yeah,
you was walking, bro. And
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
you the one who actually helped me have actors be more like animated when it comes to shooting in VR video, bro. I usually
yeah.
tell them like, yo, it's rules to do this when you animate. You gotta stand up. You gotta make sure you don't look your arms not too 90 degrees. You know what I mean? You gotta put a little more extra
Yes,
like
movement in it.
animation
Yeah,
in you to make it, you know what I mean, look a little more eye pleasing and less like cartoony and robotic. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Especially like when I'm trying to portray like realism as much as we can
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
advertise that it's real people doing these things in here.
yeah. I tell people all the time, yeah, over exaggerate, man, because people
Like,
look at, people would never expect that on the VR because they're expecting game movement, and it's like, whatever. But if you add that flow movement, before eye tracking, like that body track movement, when something happens or when you get hit, people look into that stuff, and it's funny, I'm like, yes, over exaggerate your movement. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to like teach something like that because we recording, it's gonna be fun. We want them to see how crazy we are. you know?
no, 100%, bro. And I remember when I first got in VR, I was talking with Purple Flat Pat Purple Platforms, my fault. Purple Platforms. Shout out to Purple Platforms. Hoping we get her on the show. But she was the very first person that kind of introduced me to how like y'all were being creative and it was skits being made in here. And I was like, well, is skits being made in here? And I don't know if prior to my other episodes, I've got into VR with my niche of camera operating in real life
Mm,
that I translated into VR. And so when I wanted to do more projects in here, I was trying to find people who were doing things in here, whether it be skits, short films, movies, and stuff. And you happen to be the first person, bro, that she mentioned. It was like, yo, I know somebody doing skits in here. It's really funny. And we have a real good time. And so, bro, I remember linking up with you and we shot some skits, bro. Tell me how you got started with doing some skits in here. Like, what made you get the idea of starting some content in here?
Man, it was because of my very closest, bestest friend, Kendra, man. Kendra was matching my vibes of how I was running in here. Like, she matched my energy of being over exaggerating, doing the role plays when it comes to robbing people on VR, actually role playing into actually having food and, making what VR was supposed to be fun. So, I think me and Kendra was just in a world where I think somebody was doing improv and somebody they was just stiff. I was like, man, we could do this under a minute. And then you know how fast Kendra builds in worlds. Like she built a quick world.
Shout
It was
out
me,
Kendra,
her, and
bro.
some other chick. we did like a very quick police stop. That was our very first skit. Where a traffic stop gone wrong, and then that's when it just became a thing. Like we posted it.
Oh
I posted it
snap!
on
I
TikTok
remember
first,
that.
and it went meta viral. I wouldn't say TikTok viral, but meta viral, where it's like it hit over 1,000 quick. 1,000, then 2,000 jumped, and I was like, "Dang, this is something that we can get into." And then from there, we just started building, and then we had over 30. Shoot, because of inconsistency, I lost them all. But we
Man,
went from 3 people to 10 to 30 to 40. Like we had a big team to do acting to where it almost got to the point where I was running out of skit ideas. I was like, dang, I don't know what I'm gonna do this next week. uh, but yeah, it all started off with a I can do better mentality. Like they did this, I can do it better.
I like that,
And
bro. And then you got over how many episodes?
dang, it's hard to keep track. I think we're on to 18 now. If we're looking at it as a whole, I
Um,
think 18 to 20. I could be off, but 18 to 20. I gotta once this building sets for the new world that I've made, once I go back into look into all of them, I'll be able to put them in order of how it's supposed to be.
copy that, bro. Copy that. I'm waiting on us to make up some new stuff, some new projects, bro. Speaking of projects, bro, what can you describe one of your favorite VR projects that you worked on?
Dang, they all my favorite because we just was having fun with them. But if I had to choose the one that was the one video that I made that was funny, that's a favorite of mine, was I would have to go old school. It was when we had to make the sandwich. It was this one episode where
The sandwich.
we were all chefs. You know how people be trying to make fancy foods and stuff like that. And here come my crackheaded ass. I don't know if I can cuss, but here come my crackhead. So you know, coming into this whole fancy experience making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the judges was like, "What the hell? What you mean?" You know, and then what's messed up about it was that I didn't even have all the ingredients. All I had was the peanut butter and the bread, so I had to add lib the other salt part. So I put seasoning on it. I was like, "It's a little spicy. It's a little spicy." And then you can see in the cutoff, you can hear me say, "I forgot the damn peanut butter." I forgot the damn. It was
Gone,
that one
bro.
was just like, yeah, that one was pretty good. That one sits heavy at my heart because it was funny. It was all natural. It was no scripts. Everybody was ad libbing. That's what made it raw and
Nice.
funny. And I think that's what made this skit world I was making the best because nobody had to rehearse anything. Yeah, I would give them a line, but they would ad lib from it and made it their own thing. And that's why people kept coming back to be like, I want to be in the next skit. I want to do this one. Give me this one. You know, it was
Hmm.
fun. It was really fun.
So you doing
It
more
is
skits
fun.
now, or are you transitioning to something else? Because from what I remember, you came up with your world build. Are
Yes.
you
So
doing?
as much as I love doing this stuff for the fun of it, I got to pay bills too. So I heard that, Horizons was allowing people to build, so you can make money off of it. So I was like, why not bring the actors in it to where we can have a hangout spot, and then after a certain day we can do some skits along with it, and then push it out there. So come to find out, I'm not giving up on making skits, because that's what I love to do. I love making skits, whether if it's IRL or in VR. But in VR, I'm not quitting it. Um, Two things, because two people keep coming back and saying, "When are we coming back to do skits?" I can't give up on them and be like, I'm not doing it anymore. I can't just drop them because this is where we were friends and this is what they love to do. And two, it's fun. I wouldn't want to give up something that I just love doing. I wasn't doing it for just the sake of trying to get money. Yeah, that'll happen in the process, but overall, it was fun to show people, and then it's what gathered people around. There was no judgment. It was nothing.
Hmm.
It was just fun making skits, making it suspenseful if we wanted to, and just moving on from there. Um, yeah, but that build just took some time, and that build takes a lot of time to like get it together because people are looking at tweaks. So you got to go fix that. If there's an issue in the world. That's where the team is important because if they do that, I could be able to get back into doing what I love.
Yeah, bro. And I was just talking about that too. Not well, you know what I mean. Community, community, bro. Having people to help, bro. How does community and what role does community play in your VR journey, man? Because you went from doing talents, acting to building, and most people who not in VR, bro. This is why I made the show for people that's not in VR. So I try to like get other people's perspectives who in VR to probably talk in their word or their words. You know what I mean? Of how to maybe get started with building and like how did you see that money aspect though?
Um, to be honest, I don't see the money aspect yet because due to my laziness and inconsistency, I just kept getting on and just every time someone asked me to do something, I overstayed my welcome and just entertaining them. That's where Black Magic came in. That's when I was over there and just acting a fool there because that's I try to stay where I'm good at, and I'm good on the field rather than behind the scenes. I can edit and do this stuff, but if I had a community to help break this stuff apart and I can stay where I'm at, the money would come like quicker, especially if we stay consistent. But I had to get into building because it was just me at the time, and when everybody had separated and did their own thing. It was just me. So, and the only reason why they separated is because again, I wasn't consistent. That was my issue, and I take full accountability because I could have pushed myself on certain days, but most days I got in real life stuff that I have to take care of, unfortunately, and VR
Yeah,
was not making me money immediately, so I had to take care of it. Um, But now I'm in a
nah, that's
position where I'm really trying to push and go all out for it because I want this to be a regular thing because I like this to be my thing. But the community just helps break down like jobs. If I had my own set of builders that's building the world for me, I can stay on the field. If I had my own set of moderators, they could control the world of bringing people in, letting them know what's going on. My own set of promos where they're just posting it. It helps reduce what we're doing on a regular anyways, and it just makes it go by quicker, and I'm almost to that point where I got the team set out for everything almost.
that's huge. And this I usually compare a world to like a website you can go inside, bro. How do you explain what the metaverse is or like how do you explain what the world is to people that's not in the headset? How do you
for
explain
people
that?
that's for people that's not in the VR,
Correct.
man, in short term it is the quickest way to network without leaving your home. It's um it's it's like going to a place without buying a ticket. It's like free entertainment without emptying your pockets, you know um and it's the quickest way to probably go viral as well. Oh Jesus, sorry. Let me just take this off the charger. I'm charged enough. My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say VR is the quickest way to get everything advertised out there. It has everything that you need within the VR: the cameras, the recording, the people, the foundation, the build, the creativity. Everything is right there. Rather than in the real life, you actually have to go somewhere to record, or you have to set up your cameras and stuff to record. You have to like in the
Yeah.
real life, you have to actually like get your stuff processed and ready. Whereas in VR, it's all available for you. So it's very quick,
Yes, sir.
fast paced.
And that's why I love the fact of VR, man. You're right. No gas. You know what I mean? No equipment, no injury prone things. You know what I mean? Safety protocols, all that. You can
Signing
use your
contract
camera
with another. Yeah,
so much.
signing contract with us. Yeah, there's so much that you could do within that part, and it's not like it's a slower pace because it's like VR is still new to the world because everybody's getting adjusted to the now of this generation. But when VR actually pops out, you know, all the OGs that was there that been building, it's going to definitely come out because it's more and more every year people coming into VR and playing. I don't think it'll die out.
What you think is missing for VR to go mainstream? Like, you think it's like a formula missing, or what's missing?
For one thing, video. Dang it! Like we can't watch videos on Horizon. They need to catch up with VR chat. They need to get into the game of that. Because a lot of people, like I said, I would love to show people my skits in the world to advertise within it, but I can't do that. I have to tell them,
Ooh,
come to VR chat. I don't even have a world of VR chat for
that
them to
would be
see a
hard.
video, you
Yeah,
know? But if
that's
Horizons
nice.
were
That's
to
a good idea.
expand, and I'm pretty sure they will eventually. Hell, they gave us legs. So
Yeah,
um, once that becomes a thing, I honestly think there's nothing else that they can do. It's all about who has the creativity of what they can build, the games that come up front. I think anything's possible. You got to be in the right set of mindset to bring people in to
develop,
build your
right?
team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I love that, bro. I love that. One thing I was saying, or about to remind myself of, I was talking to Island Aesthetic, and I was like, I can't wait for Horizon to get these VR chat cameras. He was like, bro, you're gonna be waiting forever. Why don't you make that? You know what I mean? They give you all the tools to make those camera API Jones, go in there and make it, or you're gonna be waiting forever. You thinking like a consumer. And I'm like, oh snap. It kind of
Hmm.
switched my brain a little bit. So I'm in there, looking at the camera APIs and stuff like that. And you're right, bro. You build your team, developing these things so people can come in there, like you said, because it's still early. And you know what I mean? You can build your team to start where you needed to start at, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it's all there, man. It's about who can do it and how well can you do it. How consistent are you? And that's what I'm learning is like staying consistent, making sure people is like if we're gonna do this, like I promise at the end game we gonna be sitting fancy in the near future. So
Why you think people scared of the metaverse or scared of VR headsets? What's your take on that?
because I guess no matter whether if it's in real life or in VR, it's it still makes the person who they are. If they were always shy in public, then that's how they are in VR. It does help lessen it because they're not physically there, but there I guess people are just afraid of just being judged, and it hits sometimes because you put all this effort into a project or a work of a build, and then to put it out there to see no one's out there, it's like, yeah, you get
Uh,
discouraged. I was the same way when I had my first apartment 2D build out there. I was just like, dang, what could it be missing? What's going on? And honestly, it was nothing wrong with it. It was just how I was advertising. I got to let people know, hey, I got things going on in here. We got stuff going on. You just got to bring them, and then one person
yeah,
turns to three, three turns into seven because they're telling their friends, and now it becomes a flow. And I'm still on that moment where it's like it's still as of right now. Apartment 2D is dead. Because nobody's in there. But with that one team that I keep having going out there, it's like it builds up. And then collaborating. I'm collaborating with other worlds too, where we help each other out, When it comes to events, they come over. When they have events, I come in and host to help them out. It really brings it all together.
that's smart. Collaboration is huge, man. And that's what I'm learning too as well, bro. Just collaborating.
Yeah.
This is like my fourth iteration of coming back to the metaverse, and at my fourth iteration, it's like just this, the collaboration of projects and seeing what we can put out as a, as a collab, and
Yeah.
to showcase the same thing that we all want to showcase. You know what I mean? Building our brand and showcasing the metaverse to get more people in here to make it, expand.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you got to be careful how your repetitions out there too, because when people are collabing, it spreads to other people. Where if they heard about this specific person, it's like, nah, you're not welcome here. It's important that you make. I mean, you have your moral standards, but you make sure you are in a good standpoint. Like, don't be like this evil dude where it's like you doing things behind people's back and stuff, because that stuff will come and hit you. That's why I try my best to tell people the truth. I'm gonna be real with you. I think you should have did this. Is just my opinion, or I try to keep it a buck with people. I'll be like, listen, I don't know how to do this. I can do this for you, but I don't know how to do this. or
Right.
just tell them the truth. You know, like I'm not gonna be able to do it, cause I'm not gonna be able to stuff like that.
Exactly.
You know,
Point him in the direction of somebody who can do it.
yeah, or is somebody that can do it. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, it's like I said before with Truth Nightclub, they had me wanting to do a stand up, and they put me in a group chat where I was supposed to come in and do like a stand up, and I was in there, but for some reason, every time when I tried to get in this, I think Horizon was broke at that time. It kept putting me in an instant that they were not in, and then my baby was crying, so I was like, let me go take care of her. I ended up taking care of her, but I knocked out on the couch, and I said, oh damn it, I forgot. Like that's on me, it's
Yeah.
not on them. But you
Yeah.
know, I had moments like that, so now I had to be sure I hit them back up and let them know, hey, my fault. I was there, but I didn't make it. And she crying now. Shoot. Give me 1 second. What's the matter?
Gotta get the baby right. The baby right. Gotta get the baby right. Shout out to Minus for Real and the Minus for Real baby in the bag. Yeah, he's got like two more questions and stuff like that, man. But I'm definitely excited to have him in the building. And if you tuning in, welcome to Inner Lands with Benz. We'll be right back. I gotta throw on some music, go sing myself for you, for you and me. All right, hold
That's
on.
the best.
What the Phoenix Boys? My man, I just got done singing. You came right on time.
Oh, dang, I missed that. Dang. My bad. All right. Yes, like I said, see, in real life, things like that happen. I'm forcing
Of
myself
course,
to make time on the VR so that I can better take care of them and stuff like that. So I'm always doing something.
of course. And this is why I do the show. So because I want to show people the real, you know what I mean, mixed with the VR. And you know what I mean, AR and VR should be coming up next and stuff, man. And we talk about AI, bro, a little bit on this show. How you feel about AI? Do you think it's a competitor, tool, or something to compete with, or you know what I mean, something that's going to take us out? What do you think AI is? How do you feel about AI?
I'm still trying to process it because as I go through Instagram and see people use AI to make their videos, I feel like this ain't talent. You know, this isn't coming from you. This is coming from a robot. You know, you're telling a robot what to do and putting your image out there, but at the same time, it benefits because you could put your ideas into the bot and it helps you organize it, and then
Right.
it puts your dream display out there. So it has its
Right.
ups and downs depending. I would say it just depends on how, what person is using it. If you're using it to be destructive and just be like put out false information and say like that, then you're being very destructive. Um, if you're just using it as a lazy point where you're just telling the AI to just throw something in there, it's destructive. But if you're actually using it to where it helps you, because I have moments where I have writer's block, and AI helps me get back into that flow.
Yeah,
But if you're
that's good.
using it to
That's
help
good
benefit
example.
you, so it's like a weird balance with the AI. Like it's not something that we've had back then. It's a huge help. You know, do what I'd say take over? Absolutely not, because AI can't think of how we think of what we think.
Hmm.
Um, and the only reason why AI just gets smart is because they have to upgrade them every time when people are thinking of new things. I mean, overall, I just have I sit on the fence with it. I'm still balanced of it. It just depends on how people are using the AI, man. Like it can help you, it could destroy you. It's both.
No, 100%, bro. I think AI is a cool tool, a tool we can use to help with anything, man. You know, I can help you with helping with a shot list or a schedule or you know me a recipe. A lot of good things. Like you said, using it for something that's more proactive and more you know what I mean positive. Something to get the cut your time in half, something like that, man.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. you think less because you're letting it think for you, not fully, but you're taking an idea of where you were rambling and giving it to the AI, and it's putting it in a perspective where it's like, okay, you got this, and that, and then it gives you more, and it helps you think of more ideas as if someone is talking back to you, which is, I think, is a cool trick. You know, before we get to the iRobot part, before they start getting feelings,
Right.
we ain't there yet.
I'm ready for the Ready Player Me. I think I'm ready for that future rather than the iRobot.
Yeah. I think people are already on there with the whole ghost touch and all that. I never experienced it, but people have already been through that, and I'm like, okay, all right, all
Right.
right.
I'm about to say. So, what's the craziest or wildest thing that happened to you in VR, bro? Anything that's crazy that's happened?
Uh,
What's the wildest
you want to talk about the recent or what I used to do?
shit? Let's get into both of them at one time, man.
Well, the craziest thing that happened to me is I had a few people that still was talking behind my back. And I keep trying to tell people, I was like, listen, just because I was nice in Black Magic, I'm a free dude. Watch what you say to me, okay? I don't want
Oh
to point out
shit.
no names because that beef was squashed, but they had kept talking about me. So I said, all right. They don't realize how creative I am. Like I don't need nobody to tell me how I look, That stuff wouldn't work on me. So I made a video about how they look,
Oh
and
snap.
now I'm the one that's immature. Now I'm the one that's being a butthole. I said, nah. I done made I done made a diss track about them. I done I done made a whole crackhead video about them. you know, and I ain't hear from them since. Now, could it because could it be because they've matured and moved on? I don't know, but I feel like, well, I've proven my point. Don't mess with me because I can keep this going. I done made a funeral world for someone and had a whole
Oh
service.
snap.
Oh, I'm an asshole.
Oh
Like I'm
snap.
like, don't put me in that perspective where I have to turn on my troll for someone. That was Black Magic days where I was telling people,
Turn the
do not
troll
mess
all
with
the
me
way up.
because I'll go by one model. I said the first one's free. What I mean by the first one's free, meaning if you talked about me one time, I'm gonna let it go, okay? Because maybe it was just in the heat of the moment you talk about me. But if I keep hearing that you talk about me, then I
You
hope
gotta
you love
turn him up.
yourself.
You gotta turn him up.
Yeah, I gotta turn up because it's like you act like you safe in the VR world and you don't realize you're an open target. You know what I mean? I love when people be like, "Oh, I come to your houses." I'm like, "Okay, that don't scare me." Okay, I live in the
Mm.
slump. You know what I'm saying? I got me a piece. Like, listen, you sure you willing to die for this? Is it worth it? All right, then let's keep it in troll mode. Okay, but what you're
Keep it
not
in
gonna do is
troll
talk.
mode.
Let's keep it in troll mode. You know what I'm saying? But what you're not gonna do is talk about me like I'm not gonna hit back, especially if you a big creator or something like that.
I'm
I've
about to
had
say speak.
people.
Go ahead, go ahead. I'm about to say, speaking of troll mode, how can you? I'm about to say when I feel like when you first get in the VR headset and you get to social apps, you almost have to like get that troll mode out of you. Can you agree? Is this something about like when a person get in here, you instantly have to like, you know what I mean? How you put that in words? You know what I'm trying to say?
There's a different perspective of how people troll. People do it for rage baiting to see if they can get people mad. People do it to make them laugh, where they become a different character persona. People do it just to do it in roast mode. It just all depends on what type of troll are they becoming. I'm all of them, but in my perspective of how I troll, I only do it to people that deserves it. Like if you are an asshole and you are bullying people, especially if you're a big creator, you making all this money, you bringing people down, you will hear from me, okay? Because I don't care if I'm a big creator or I'm in the alley.
You said
I will
you
make
from me.
I will find something wrong with them. You better love yourself because I'm going to hit below the belt. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. There's gonna be days where I fuck up or I'm going to fuck up, whether if it's in real life or. But the difference about me is that if they use it to attack me, it's not going to work. That's why I tell people my secret weapon. You better love yourself because if I'm targeting you, you better laugh at yourself because if not, you're gonna realize the flaws about you. But no, trolling, yeah, some everybody has a little bit of a troll in them, where they want to be a little bit messy. It just depends on the level tier of that troll, like how messy you want to be. Is this a permanent thing that you're trying to mess up a relationship, a friendship? Like, what are we doing? Troll has its own definition and meaning.
I said levels to that. Ain't
Yeah, there's levels to it. Me, I'm a professional troll. Listen, I'm only gonna use it for the greater good. God damn it.
it?
I've had people I've had people come to me and say, "Hey, yo, you need to talk to this dude." And I try to tell people, if I go after them, understand that I'm not just gonna go after them. I'm gonna get their side of the story, because I'm not gonna be the one that be like, let's say you come to me and you say you got beef with this one dude. That's your beef. So I can't just come in because you want me to diss him because I know how to diss. No, I'm gonna go talk to him. What happened? And if I feel like this is something y'all could sit and talk about, I'm gonna say, "Hey, bro, I think y'all should sit and talk." Or because people always reveal themselves. If I go to someone and they are saying what they are, then I'll be like, "Yo, bro, listen, he's a friend of mine, and I think you kind of doing too much. How about you cut that shit out, or I'm gonna make it a me thing, me and you thing." And that's another thing that comes in. People are so they love to like criticize. Why are you jumping into their business? And I be telling them because I want to. If I didn't want to, I wouldn't have. Mind your business. How about that? You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I want to do. I accept what I do as well as my consequences. But don't tell me what I should do because you don't do it. That's you. You know what I'm saying?
No, my man, bro. Bro, I'm so happy we got the chance to talk. I make it between 25, 30 minutes, but I always give a little bit of squeeze time. And then I gotta shout out to Maddie. I gotta go to Maddie to do some live
You good,
streaming
man.
with her. But my man, I'm trying to do season two, right? Where I can kind of do a switcheroo and you could be in the avatar mode showcasing what you kind of do or your world or however you want to do it, and I'll be in real life and kind of do a season two thing where we can talk more, catch up, get more in depth of what you do and how you do it in VR. And bro,
Yes.
I'm excited, bro. I want to appreciate you again. And anything you want to say to anybody like want to be a future VR creator, content creator in VR, or like any VR tips and tricks for anybody?
Man, if you have a mindset of doing what you know what you want to do, just do it. Whether if it fails or whether it becomes a big thing, you never know. Just do it. Don't spend your life thinking that holding on a what if, man. As of right now, I'm doing what I want to do and just pushing for it. And just do it, man. I mean, everyone else said it. Even the high people said it. Like the people that have made it, they just did it. And stay consistent too. If you know that it's going good, do not stop. No matter the relationship, do not let anybody stop you. Just keep going. And then when you reach to that point, you'll realize this was worth it. So just do it. Do it and don't stop. When
I
you
feel
find
that,
that,
man.
when you find that flow, do it. Keep going.
For real. Yes, sir, man. And talking to you, talking to me, bro, that is a wrap, man. That's going to be a wrap with In the Lens with Benz, man. Huge thanks to the Minds for Real, man. Thank you so much. One more time, bro. We playing a phone tag. We finally here, bro. Respect, bro, for
Yeah,
real.
respect, bro.
For joining us and sharing your story, my dude. Make sure to check them out at the Miners for Real. Is down there at the bottom right there on your chest, right there. The Miners for Real. And thank you to everyone watching, listening. And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to follow, share, and stay tapped in for more creators and innovators stepping in the future of VR and AI. Until next time, this is In the Lens with Benz. Keep creating, keep imagining, and always stay in the lens. My guy, Miners, thank you again, my man.
You know it, man. I
Respect.
gotta show that love, man. I see you next time. And
Next
to the
time for
viewers
real.
too. My